good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode with Blockchain Braun. It has been too long. It's so good to have you back with me again. Happy 2025. I know I'm late, but I'm here. So let's get this started. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's the deal with crypto right now. I know you guys have been seeing the market and seeing what's going on. The capitulation, the downturn that's happening right now. And it's not only in the crypto market, but it's also in the regular stock market too as well. So you may be wondering what's going on right now. What's the deal with crypto? Well, let's just get right into it. I believe the deal with crypto right now, where it stands, currently, I must admit, I believe that the market is a little frightened, should I say, by the current tariff situation with this administration. Now, I will say this. We're not going to just totally just throw all the blame on President Trump and his administration. Although I think and I believe that he's beginning to look at, because from my understanding, I believe that he paused the tariffs on Mexico. And I believe he's kind of looking at that tariff plan and getting an understanding that that may not be the total best course of action as far as tariffs. And I'll get into why I don't think, from an economic standpoint, that tariffs are the most efficient decision to make as far as how to get ourselves in order. However, holding other places of trade accountable, notably China. So I want to draw your attention to something that happened, a couple of things here. So I want to draw your attention to, I believe it was called the Smoot-Hawley Act of 1930. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930 was a template to be implemented, and it did not work that well. And I'm under the impression that because of the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which tried to impose these kind of tough tariffs on imports, I believe that it could be one of the causes, not maybe the main cause, but I believe it was one of the causes that led to not only World War II, but it also led to the Great Depression. Or it was part of one of the reasons why. Maybe several different reasons why we went into a Great Depression, but I believe that the Smoot-Hawley Act and the tariffs imposed may have been part of that too as well. So I want to look at that as being something to look at as far as how tariffs may be a problem. Also as well, I will say this. During the Biden administration, and I mentioned this before when talking about BRICS and the BRICS system, when President Biden and his administration imposed these regulations and imposed these sanctions on Russia as far as attacking their accounts, freezing their SWIFT transactions, freezing their bank accounts and being able to transact overseas and do cross-border transactions. I believe when they done that, when they imposed these sanctions, not that Russia didn't need sanctions, but I believe this spurred them into going into the BRICS sooner and creating the BRICS as quickly as possible. Now, of course, BRICS is experiencing some issues. They're going through some things where things aren't as efficient right now, and they have some things to button up. However, I believe that really put the BRICS system into warp speed, so to speak, when these sanctions were imposed. In addition to that, other countries saw the way the United States imposed these sanctions. And I believe that these other countries hopped on board with BRICS, are looking to veer away from the dollar and looking to veer away from this economic system as much as they can, because if they decide to make whatever decision they're going to make, if they decide to invade someone, if they decide to have war with someone, or if they decide to do certain things as a country or as a regime, They don't want to be under the umbrella or under the control of the U.S. economy and the U.S. in general, to where these sanctions would be imposed against them, where they're not able to do commerce and they're not able to do things economically because they're under American control. So that's something to look at. First thing I want to talk, a couple of things I want to talk about there that we should look at. The thing about tariffs is we are a free market economy. And when you impose tariffs, you are I would say, stopping the free market trade in certain aspects. If you impose tariffs against China, for instance, when China has trade just about with every superpower and every country in the world, China has trades with just about everyone in the world. So when you impose these tariffs on China, you are hindering the free trade market, so to speak. Now, I don't know if you realized it or not, but China has 100% tariffs on their imports and exports. Now, I'll say this again. China has about 100% tariffs on their imports and exports. And there seems to be some unfairness there, because if they can impose them, then why can't we impose them? Or why can't another country like Europe impose them? Well, China has a little bit of a different dynamic. They produce, they have the biggest population of people between them and India, and they have structured their economy in a way to where the services they provide to other places throughout the world cannot be denied, they cannot be looked over, and these things are necessary. When you impose these tariffs, you indeed do create, and I have to admit, and maybe I didn't look at it at first in this, but I'm willing to admit if I made a mistake or not. And hopefully you guys will comment in the comment section. And some of you guys that may have a little bit more knowledge, perhaps, maybe than I do, I just want to have a discussion. I just want us to be in good standings and be in a good place economically, where we can move forward and be prosperous, where our kids can be prosperous, have a great world to look forward to, and not fall back too deep into something that's going to take us forever to get out of. So, back to this. When you impose these tariffs on China, you are limiting the free market trade. When China provides these goods to other places throughout the world, and they cannot be denied, and they provide these goods at a price to where that if we impose these tariffs, I believe that we're going to be paying 50% higher than what we paid previously. Now, you couple that 50% higher on goods than what we paid previously, along with inflation that we're still battling and we're still having an issue with, that can present all types of problems. Now, I'm sure that none of these people on President Trump's cabinet is going to listen to me, or some of these economic gurus that he has are going to pay any attention to anything that I'm saying. But I would implore you, President Trump, I would implore you, President Trump's administration, to maybe look at other ways that we can do something that is not going to hurt the citizens here in the United States or impose extra cost or extra responsibility when it comes to commerce on the American citizens due to tariffs. I would implore you to maybe look at other ways to, I don't want to say hurt China or do something against them to where we're penalizing them for some reason. But I would implore you maybe to look at other measures. I don't know if tariffs is the way. I guess we'll find out here soon. But the way things are looking, people are a little nervous about it. And I believe that's what's causing the downturn in the regular market, as far as the regular stock market. I believe that's causing the downturn in the crypto market. And we're going to get a little bit more into crypto here shortly. But I believe that people are afraid in looking at what's going on right now, and people are not confident that these tariffs are going to work. Similar to the way the Smoot-Hawley Act of 1930 did not work, just as the sanctions that President Biden imposed on Russia kind of didn't work. And now with the Trump administration, this may not work either. I believe with tariffs, what you do is that not only you maybe usher in a trade war, but then tariffs, you go back to the Smoot-Hawley Act, which was part of one of the reasons maybe that led, not the sole reason at all. So I want you guys to understand that. But it was part of one of the reasons that led to the Great Depression and perhaps led to World War III. And so I talked about these things in the changing world order, or the way the curve goes. Okay, or what leads to these things, and what leads to war, and what leads to conflict are economic situations where you're experiencing poverty. You are experiencing a place where you've never been before, where you've had either deep depressions or deep recessions, something that hurts an economy where people feel that they have to do whatever they have to do or whatever they need to do in order to survive. So you don't want to have that type of situation happen. So President Trump's administration, I would implore you to maybe look at other ways rather than tariffs. Let me say this too as well. I did a video last year on the ILA and the USMX, I believe, strike that went from the coast, from Boston all the way over to Houston. And guys, tariffs have a lot to do with this too as well, because how do you think imports get over here? More than likely, they're going to be shipped on those ships. They're going to be shipped over that way. And so I told you what was going on there as to why people strike. They wanted an increase in wages, and they also wanted to stop the autonomous ways of work in order to make sure that their jobs were safe. I don't know if you can stop autonomous. I think that's here, and it's going to be implemented and ushered in even more. So I don't know if you're going to be able to stop that completely, but that's why the people went on a strike though. So tariffs, they have an effect, a big effect on overseas shipping too as well. So you have to look at that. Okay, how would that hurt the port workers? How would that hurt other forms of commerce here within the United States? If you're looking at the economic spectrum, as far as on the economic curve, you probably start out, you're going up, and you go through a season of expansion. From the season of expansion, you go perhaps maybe down the curve where you're dealing with contraction or contraction recession. Then you go back up the curve again where you get to a sort of, I would say, a business peak. Right at the peak here, you're going up the curve. And then down the other end of the curve, you're dealing with another type of recession too as well. Recession trough when you're going down the curve. And then somewhere on the other side of the curve, you level out into some particular average that your economy is going to be at. And so it is healthy for an economy to go through these expansions and contractions organically. What I don't think is healthy is when you usher these things in as far as a contraction is concerned or some type of recession when it's done manually. And I believe perhaps tariffs will usher in some type of contraction. And a contraction basically is an economic slowing, an economic downturn, a place where the economy is not as active. There are some pauses in the economy where there's not a lot of spending going on. There's not a lot of commerce going on. That is not a healthy economy. Expansion is when you have an active economy that's spending is going on. You have people going out buying and trading goods, and this creates an active economy because when you're buying and trading goods, this does have an impact on employment, have an impact on jobs too as well, because the economy is rolling. You have an active economy that is running, so to speak, like a well-oiled machine. And so when economy is running and you have an active economy, then it goes through periods of expansion. But when you stop expansion and you're just going through contractions, then a deep contraction where there's not any activity going on can lead to a depression. That's not what you want to happen. So in a free market economy like we have here in the United States, free market, Adam Smith theory, an invisible hand that if you leave the economy alone and leave it to its own devices in a free market capitalistic economy like we have here in the United States, it will correct itself. And so I think we have to keep that in mind and understand what type of economy we are. Tariffs may not be the best course of action. And so I have to admit that. So that leads me to cryptocurrency. So what's the deal with crypto? Well, as I said before, and I alluded to at the beginning of this video, I believe there's a downturn right now in cryptocurrency because of the current scare of the tariffs that are incoming. I believe we'll figure it out. I believe this administration will figure it out, and I'm hoping that they do. And I believe that all markets will be okay in the end. The one thing about cryptocurrency, whether you're dealing with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Chainlink, the list goes on and 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 on. I believe the good thing about cryptocurrency is when you're dealing with the digital aspect where Bitcoin is a digital gold, I believe that people could maybe look towards Bitcoin as some type of safe haven, just as they would with gold. That is good for Bitcoin. That is good for the crypto market. And the reason it's good for the whole crypto market as a whole is because a rising tide lifts all ships. Bitcoin is the tide in the cryptocurrency market that lifts all ships. And where Bitcoin goes, it takes the market with it. So when Bitcoin increases, more than likely, the market as a whole is going to increase. When Bitcoin decreases and there is a sense of capitulation, then the market is going to decrease and have capitulation with it. And so I think we need to look at those things. Now, this is the great thing about a downturn in any market. That means that options are on discount. And so it's not time to panic, because first and foremost, for traders like you and I, there are not big block traders, maybe not the most wealthiest people in the world. The way we win out is by buying and holding. Buying and holding is the way to win in investing. And so we shouldn't worry about any short-term capitulation anyway, or short-term contraction, or short-term downturn in the market, because eventually we're going to be okay. We're holding. As long as we hold the option and don't sell, we have not lost anything. But the moment you sell, and you sell at a loss, then yes, you've taken a loss. But if you keep your money there, you keep an eye on it, maybe do some reallocation from time to time, then you're fine. So remember, and this goes for the regular market too as well, when you invest, you buy to hold. You're not buying to sell off, not unless you're a day trader. And day traders have certain instruments to work with that makes it beneficial for them, like Bloomberg machines or fiber optic cable that goes 10, 100 times faster than anything you have, and they can get their trade in 10, 100 times faster than you can trade. And that's a lot of times why you fall by the wayside and you lose, while that person that has those type of tools wins. And so we have to invest to hold and not look to sell off so quickly. That's how you win in the market. While there's a downturn in the market, that means you can buy things at a discount. It's always good to have some dry powder on the side, to where when there is a down market, you have money and you have liquidity where you can use immediately in order to buy that option. What I will say is this, without totally giving you financial advice, that's not what I'm here to do. So let me go ahead and say that. But I will say, look at certain things as far as in the cryptocurrency market. You look at your Bitcoins, you look at your Ethereum. These are mainstays. These are things that are going to have ETFs and they're going to have institutional investors. And so these are, nothing's totally safe, I don't think 100%, whether it's in the stock market or cryptocurrency market. But when you're looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, these things are huge, has a lot of investors, and has a lot of traffic. So I think from that standpoint, they're going to be relatively safe. So I would suggest, well, let me say this. You may want to look at your Bitcoins. Look at Ethereum. Look at Solana. I think Solana is just at the cusp of what it's going to do. I believe it's going to be something special. And Solana continues to surprise me and never ceases to amaze me. So look at your things like BTC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH. You may want to look at Solana, SOL, XRP, of course. I think XRP still is going to be one of the best things that a lot of people miss out on. I believe it's not only going to be a catalyst, or perhaps the catalyst, cross-border payments and cross-border transactions as far as the banking industry is concerned, eliminating the need for nostro-vostro accounts. But I also believe that it's going to have an impact on the payment systems here in the United States too as well. XRPL, I believe, is going to be one of those things when we totally go digital and when society becomes totally tokenized, where you can transfer anything of value across the XRP ledger. Anything of value that you can think of that has value, you're going to be able to tokenize it and transfer it by way of the XRP ledger or the XRPL. So that's something to look at. So BTC, ETH, SOL, XRP, XLM, because XLM is right there with XRP. Heck, Jed McCaleb created XLM, and he was one of the first guys, or one of the creators or founders of XRP2 as well. Hedera Hashgraph, I think, is going to be something special, and it hadn't even begun to do what it's going to do yet. So Hedera Hashgraph. I would say Chainlink. You guys need to research Chainlink. Chainlink is going to be something special, and I believe its use case is very thorough and efficient. So Chainlink is something that you may want to look at. And also as well, guys, let me say this before I end. Do not overlook meme coins. Now, the ultimate meme coin is Doge, okay? But there are a ton of meme coins out there that have big run-ups. I'm talking about 10, 100, 1,000%. I've seen 100,000% on some of these meme coins, whether you're looking at Pepe or Brett or something of that nature. The Trump meme coin that came out a month or two ago, that a lot of people, well, not even a month or two ago, this was, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I believe it was during the inauguration. The Trump meme coin came out, then Melania came out, then the Byron meme coin came out. And some of these people missed out on the Trump meme coin because, well, we hate Trump. Think Trump is a piece of trash. But you could have made a lot of money on that Trump meme coin. I believe that meme coin made something north of $1 billion within 48 hours. Something just ridiculous. And I could be shortchanging that. So do not dismiss meme coins. Meme coins can really make a whole lot of money. But the thing about meme coins is you got to know what it's there for. If you look to invest in meme coins, you have to do your homework. And you have to know the price point in where you're willing to take profit. Because if you don't, if you're too greedy in dealing with meme coins, you'll mess around and lose all the money you invested. So you have to know what you're there for, and you can't be too greedy to where you don't have a price point to where you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to take out at this point and I'm fine with it. I don't care what it goes to. I don't care what other people are doing. I know what my goal is. And my goal is to make this particular amount of money and then I'm out. And that's the way you have to do it. So just some ideas of some things to look at here. And I just wanted to offer kind of my thoughts on what's going on and what's the deal with crypto right now. And those are my thoughts, and that's what I believe is happening. If you like this video, please smash up the like button. And if you like this video, please take the time to share it with a friend. I know it's been a long time. I feel a little rusty, but it's good to be back with you guys. You take care. I hope you have a fantastic night and a great remainder of the week. And remember, always, always, always stay vigilant. Thank you.